Hey guys, I know y'all haven't heard from me in a long time. A lot was happening last year. I lost my mom in October and it kind of kept me off track, and I'm all better now. R.I.P. Mom. But gotta keep the ship rolling, gotta keep going. Love you, Mom, and continue to press forward. Today our topic is on .NET Core 3.0, and just kind of want to do more of a deep dive into this one, and so here we go. Welcome to NerdHouseGeeks.com. We're going to jump into ASP.NET Core 3.x, and we're going to quickly go through some of the prerequisites required for this course. First of all, you have to know some version of Core or .NET Core, .NET MVC, installation of Visual Studio 2019, and also during that installation you only need to install ASP.NET for web development. And then quickly I'll take you over to the download page. So as you see here, we go to the download site and we can download .NET Core 3.1, and once we install this, we're ready to go. Okay, here we go. Visual Studio 2019. We're gonna start off by clicking Create New Project. We're gonna make a .NET Core web application. And when you look at the .NET Core project types, look at all the different operating systems and services and everything that we could gear .NET Core to. Now, I remember a time when we didn't have all these options when you were developing in Microsoft Visual Studio, C#+. Wow, it became a new exciting world, and the future even looks more exciting. So right here, I'm gonna find a location, my own naming structure, different projects I'm experimenting with. And so, but you were, back in the day, back on that subject, you were just stuck to one operating system. You know, there was no phone apps, there was no nothing. And, you know, taking this journey along with this company and its development platform was fantastic. So here I'm getting ready to name this project, but I would watch other people's instructional videos where they just open up the project, and I'm like, how did they do that? And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know it was that simple. So here I'm gonna call it the cool application.web. And then in the solution name below, I just removed the .web because I want my solution to have one name, so that as I create other segments of the application, like the data layer, the main layer, and I was like, oh, it turns out to be so simple. I just like how other people's projects look. All right, so we're gonna start here with an empty project. You should have 3.1 because of the previous little scene, but I didn't want to reshoot this. So you just select the latest version whenever you're watching this video. We're gonna turn off that configure for HTTPS. We'll put all that back in there. No authentication, we'll be adding that all in there. So this is gonna be bare bones. So this is what it looks like, bare bones. We have the startup file, program file, app settings, and pretty much it. We're gonna put the rest of the stuff in there. So we just completed creating a brand new project. And so now it's time for us to look inside the project file. The way you open up a project file is you can double click on it and it'll show up in your works area. And it should look similar to this. Now, if you look inside of this project file, what you will see is a section called Target Framework. And that brings us into the topic of a Target Framework moniker. So we're gonna quickly dissect what's going on in here. At the top of this XML file for the project, you see the SDK. That there is a shared framework. And where it says target framework is that in between those tags is the target framework moniker. So be aware of this in case people ask you questions in the interview. It can get tricky sometimes. Okay? Now, that moniker is saying, hey, I want to have access to .NET Core 3.0 or 3.1 or whatever you're using, whatever you selected. If you downloaded 3.1 or whatever version, the latest version should show up in there. And so that's important to know in a project file, because there are several types of projects that are supported by Microsoft, and that indicator tells you is what lets you know from your project file what you're using. So if you look here at this link, this is showing you the latest and greatest. When I took the image, of course, there's been an upgrade since I took a snapshot of this. And so we'll take a quick look at what that is. Hold on. No, we're going back. I'm just gonna exit the slide real quick. And here is our target framework SDK style projects. And so I think you should look through this, a lot of information, but here we're showing the latest frameworks. Of course, 3.1, it was 3.0 when I took a snapshot. And like I said, it was some delays before I created the video. But I think this is a good read. But just to get an idea of all the supported target frameworks, information for you to just have and understand .NET Core and how it's evolved to where it is right now. Okay, and these monikers will show up if you select the project file and take a look at it. Okay, so we'll continue on. All right. Next, so this target framework moniker, why do we care about this stuff? And the reason we care about this stuff is because of this next slide. When you used to use a project file back in the day, this is what a project file would look like. I know that's not very clear, but it was this massive XML file and all these little references in it, and the target framework moniker is important to us because it created simplicity. All the stuff that we needed to not show, it just made it easy, as you can see, for us to follow along with what we've got going on. So why does the target framework moniker work? Well, there's a shared framework, and when you reference that framework, the target framework moniker implicitly gets you the DLLs and access to the right stuff that you need for .NET Core. Okay, so the understanding of a shared framework is important to understand why .NET Core is working, what's going on in your project file. All right, here I have a definition for shared framework. I think I got this from Microsoft or some really smart person. A shared framework is the set of assemblies, the DLL files, that are installed on your machine and are includes a runtime component and a targeting pack. So it shares all these assemblies, but that targeting pack is where your framework moniker tells you what it's going to be loading. Now, we have a link here by Nate McMasters, and it was very helpful to me in my research, but I really enjoyed this, even though this was some time ago, meaning 2018. Just getting an understanding of what a shared framework was, this was very helpful. It's just a link, a reference that I'm putting there for your own personal, whatever you want, but I just found it extremely helpful. Okay, next. So this is how the target framework is how you reference the shared framework components that you need for your project. And so this little quick read here is the ASP.NET Core shared framework contains assemblies that are developed and supported by Microsoft. Microsoft ASP.NET app is installed when you install .NET 3.0 or later SDK. The framework is the set of assemblies, which we know, that are installed on your machine and include the runtime components and a targeted package, which we learned from the previous slide. But that's how your project file, that's the important part of your project file. I thought it was very important to know this stuff if we go in this here deep dive. I'm sorry. All right. So we're gonna go back to your project file if you haven't left it. So let's look at the project file again. The project that targets the Microsoft.NET SDK.web implicitly reference the Microsoft ASP.NET Core.app framework, which is a shared framework. And ASP.NET Core shared framework doesn't include any third-party dependencies. It only includes all the supported packages by the ASP.NET Core team. Okay, let's get along here. Now there's an important thing to know. New to .NET Core 3X, no more meta packages. Okay, a meta package is a NuGet package that has no content, has no content of its own, but it is a list of dependencies and other packages versions of .NET Core. The .NET Core 3X meta package are being discontinued. The needed types are moved to a class library of .NET Core itself. Just like the types in the system's namespace, they are now updated each time you bump your version of .NET Core. So as you move up through .NET Core and install other version, it just bumps it up. But this idea of what a packages and meta packages are, and once again I included the link. And once you go to that link, if you wanted to know about meta packages, here's the stuff that's in the article and frameworks. But meta packages have gone away as far as .NET Core is concerned. So it's a good read. Take the time, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Okay, so with that, I just want to quickly get over some things. Just showing you more code. We're not coding just yet. I want to explain quickly about multiple TFMs, how those are implemented, and we're just going to take a look at that code in a project file that implements it. And when you're referencing multiple TFMs, this is an expression of how that's done. Of course, up here we have the reference to the shared framework. And then this is a semicolon delimited list saying, hey, look, we're going to be doing some business with these frameworks, okay? And then in the item group tag, you specify, list the conditions. If the target framework is equal .NET 4.0, we want to include these. And if it's 4.5, we want to go this route. So I've personally never had a need for it. I just wanted to make sure it's known. Also, we're going to show a quick demo of not actually write any code here, but just just an example. Again, I've never used it, never been in a use case where I needed it, but it's just more informational purpose. And so here we have preprocessor directive. That's these guys. When C# compiler encounters a preprocessor directive like this, it compiles the code between those directives only in the specified. So if right now we had our target framework set to 4.0, then the code would just execute for this section and vice versa. So just wanted to make sure. I don't know, we'll probably come back, but I just wanted to really touch on just what's going on in a project file. I don't know how many people know, I don't know how many people care. I guess I'll find out when I post this video. But we're gonna wrap it up here with our project file. You could review all that information. It's some of the mostly interview questions. And again, I went a long time without even knowing that stuff, but deep dive here. So in summary, we quickly went over setting up your machine for development, created our first project, and began to examine the project file. And we got an understanding of TFMs and how they can be used and how we can use them, and meta packages for .NET Core apps moving forward. They're no longer included. Thank you for sticking along with me, man. All right, bye. Hey, if you found this video very helpful, click the like button below, and please don't be shy to subscribe to Nerd House Geeks. We are constantly updating this channel with new and interesting content. If it's more convenient for you to see us on Facebook, please like our page, and when we have updates, we put them on Facebook, and you'll be informed there as well too. And to the entire LinkedIn community, thank you very much for your support. We also have a company page out there that you can follow, and we'll keep content updated there as well. So thank you very much.